What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Fantasy Fellow Show. My name's Kyle. It's Wednesday evening, June 14th. We're in the middle of best ball research and a lot of things going on, but we're going to take a break here and do a PPR mock draft, a 12-team head-to-head PPR mock draft on ESPN. We're going to hop into a screen share here, and we'll show you guys what we're doing. We're picking from the third overall pick in this draft. I have already covered picks 1 and 2. Basically, I'm going to do one mock draft a week for the rest of the summer. Maybe we get a little bit more as we get closer to August. But we're going to keep doing these mock drafts here. And if you guys have any requests, if you need a 10-team, half PPR, or, if you need Yahoo or Sleeper, whatever you need, let me know in the comments. We can totally do a custom mock for you guys. And then I do want to just do a little bit of housekeeping. Check out the playlist tab on the Fantasy Fellowship. I do have all of our mock drafts in a playlist here. I've also got all my best ball drafts. Everything kind of goes to the Fantasy Fellowship. Check out the shorts, and then just everything kind of goes to the Fantasy Football playlist as well. And then if you guys haven't checked us out, it's a podcast. We're on Spotify, we're on Apple. We have all those links for you guys there too. So if you can't check us on YouTube, check us out on Spotify, Apple, all the other podcasting platforms. We are there. So hey, 710 subscribers. Thanks for hanging out, guys. And let's keep it moving. I'd love to try and hit 1,000 subscribers by the end of the summer, right before the season starts. And it looks like our draft is starting in 10 seconds. Check out the Fantasy Playbook. It's free on the Fantasy Fellowship this year. I got all my rankings, projections, articles, tons of stuff on there. I'm actually going to probably do a rankings update next week. We'll put out some videos for that stuff. But yeah, everything is free on the thing there for you guys. And I'm trying something new, Aiden. Sub-only mode today. We're trying to just increase those subscribers, man. So if you want to leave a comment, definitely subscribe. Help us out, get it moving. But we're underway here. Austin Eckler, second overall pick. I was going to do Austin Eckler on the thumbnail today, but I didn't think I was going to get him at the 3. So we did put Cooper Kupp there on the thumbnail. He's going to be my pick here at number 3. I think you could take Ja'Marr Chase here. I did do a mock draft with Ja'Marr Chase. He was my number 2 pick in last week's video, but in this one, we're going to go with Cooper Kupp and see what happens here. And then, yeah, subscriber only mode on the comments. We'll see what happens. Hopefully you guys are subscribed and we can chat in the comments. But otherwise, let's see here. I will be kind of referencing my projections throughout the way. I do have a cheat sheet here that I want to reference. And for me, this is a PPR cheat sheet. I have Cooper Kupp as my number 3 ranked wide receiver. I'm probably taking Ja'Marr Chase over Cooper Kupp if he's available. In all the best ball drafts that I do, Ja'Marr Chase does go number 2. So to me, it's JJ, it's Chase. Austin Eckler in the best ball streets, man, he goes middle to late first. And I think if you're doing a redraft league, Austin Eckler makes a ton of sense in the top 5. And to me, he should be the first running back taken. So hopefully one of these mock drafts, we can get a running back. I know I've started with JJ and Chase in my other 2 mock drafts. So one of these days, we're going to get you guys a running back mock draft where we take him in the first round. But for now, we'll settle in with Cooper Kupp. And here's kind of a recap of the first round. You have Ja'Marr Chase at 4, CMC at 5. Aiden goes with Tyreek Hill here. And oh my goodness, is this happening? Is this happening? Let me see here. DeAndre Hopkins. Is this real? Did this just happen, Mr. Tobin? I know he's been hosting with the Patriots right now. And I would say it's like 80-90% that it's happening. Is there a tweet there that you got for me? I don't know if I'm signed into Twitter on this feed here. Let me see here. Not now. Hopkins. Is Hopkins happening? We'll check that. I gotta sign into Twitter on this. He intends to sign. Okay, that makes perfect sense. It's not a great landing spot for fantasy football. I know in best ball. And I appreciate it. In best ball, Hopkins has been kind of being drafted as a late 3rd, early 4th round pick. I have not been touching him there because he's been linked to the Patriots and the Titans. Not a very great landing spot, but it makes a ton of sense for the Patriots. We're up to pick right now. We do have Cooper Kupp, Tony Pollard sitting here. His ranking's 21. I don't mind the Tony Pollard pull here. We can still get Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, and there's a handful of receivers that I do like here. So let's go ahead and lock ourselves into Tony Pollard. We'll get that early round running back in here. I do want to take a peek. What did Aiden end up doing here? Aiden Aiden goes with Jalen Waddle. Amazing second-round pick, especially in a PPR format. I do like it. I might have considered Garrett Wilson there, but we're nitpicking. Waddle and Wilson are both, potential top 5, top 10 receivers for sure. So I love that wide receiver snag there. And with Tony Pollard, man, I'm not sure what to expect with him coming off of injury, but I mean, look at his numbers from last year. The dude was RB8, and he had Ezekiel Elliott just taking a ton of volume, and now that volume is going to rotate to Tony Pollard. I'm totally cool with him being my RB1 this year. In terms of projections, Tony is my RB7, so like almost no change from last year, and it wouldn't surprise me if he's a top 3 running back by when it's all said and done. As long as Tony Pollard's healthy, I think he's in for a pretty good season. Let's get we're on the clock again. Let's see here. Ramondre, Jalen Hurts, Devonta Smith. In my video last week, I did take Jalen Hurts and Devonta Smith together. I think that is a lot of fun to stack those two guys. Otherwise, I mean, I could just lock in Ramondre Stevenson here. I've been kind of staying away from Breece Hall. And I think in this video, because I love the wide receivers late, I'm just going to take Breece Hall. And this one's a little bit weird for me because I have not been drafting a ton of Breece Hall. And I think my approach to Breece Hall this year is you got to be patient. He's probably not going to be running at 100% week 1. He's probably going to be sharing the backfield with whether it's the rookie Abanikanda, Michael Carter, or Zonovan Knight. There's going to be kind of a rotation at running back. But to get Breece Hall in the 3rd round, I'm mostly, my mindset is like he could be back to 100% by October, maybe November, and he's probably going to be a guy that you want on your fantasy rosters come playoff time. So I'm kind of warming up to it. I don't love passing on some of these stud receivers like Devonta, Chris Olave. There's a lot of guys that I do like taking over Breece Hall right now. But again, like I said, this is our 3rd mock draft video. I've done first pick and second pick where we've gone wide receiver heavy. So in this one, we're going to change it up a bit and get 2 stud running backs. Let's take a recap here of round 3. You got Higgins, DK Metcalf. That's fantastic wide receivers at the top of the 3rd round. Breece Hall, Chris Olave is a fantastic pick. I think he's going to be a fringe wide receiver 1 this year. There's Ramondre, and Aiden takes Najee Harris here, who I think the Steelers are an offense that you should not be sleeping on this year. Whether it's Najee, whether it's Deontay, whether it's George Pickens, Pat Freiermuth, I think all those guys will be starting assets for our fantasy rosters this year. Pickett, when you play in Superflex League, that's where Pickett's going to come into play. I don't think he's a QB1 by any means, but the Steelers are going to have a much improved offense in 2023. Jalen Hurts, Aaron Jones, there's Devonta Smith, Mixon, Mark Andrews, Joseph Burrow, Amari Cooper, Debo, Jahmyr Gibbs, man, in a full PPR. I think he's a fantastic 4th round pick right now. He's definitely a guy that I want on my rosters. There goes Ken Walker, Christian Watson. Let's see what Mr. Tobin does here. I don't think I'm good, but they're going to get to me. Yeah, and so, I mean, the Steelers, they weren't great last year, but they've improved the offensive line. They're going to be a good defense always, but you're just also going to have year 2 growth from Kenny Pickett. You're going to have, more growth from George Pickens, Pat Freiermuth another year. It's a young offense. They should be a little bit better than they were last year. And even last year, they were a 9-8 team. They're going to be a solid team. And with Najee, you're just collecting a ton of touches. So I get it. It's a volume play there. And as we're up to pick, I'm looking at Chris Godwin here. And man, oh man, I love Deontay Johnson. I think he's a great pick. But I'm going to take Chris Godwin here. And this is interesting. One of my favorite things to do is to draft players, a full year removed from their injuries. And if you look at what Chris Godwin did, this is what he did last year when he was coming off of an ACL tear. Basically, every game was in double digits, and he only got better as the season went on. He finished with 22, 14, and 21 in the fantasy playoffs. He caught 8, 8, and 9 receptions in these games, only 1 touchdown, but he's a volume hog. And a guy like Baker Mayfield, I don't care if you like Baker Mayfield or not, who has Mayfield been successful with in the pros? I think of Jarvis Landry as Mayfield's best receiver, not Odell Beckham. Jarvis Landry, who's a possession receiver. So I think Chris Godwin, for him to be our wide receiver too, I think I feel pretty safely about that. Now I'm back up on the clock here. I'm not going to take Hopkins, who we talked about potentially going to the Pats. Mike Evans, we already got Godwin. So I'm saying no. I'm more so looking at Terry McLaurin or Calvin Ridley. I'm going to go with Calvin Ridley. We've taken him a couple times in our mock draft videos. I think you want a piece of that Jacksonville Jaguars offense, whether it's Christian Kirk, Calvin Ridley, Trevor Lawrence. I mean, you could stack. It's really easy to get one of those Jags receivers and stack them with Trevor Lawrence because he's a little bit late on ESPN here. He's down here at 87th overall. We can maybe look to T-Law for our QB1. Curious what Aiden's going to do here in his 5th round pick. But 5th round recap here, you got Miles Sanders, you got James Conner, you have Calvin Ridley, who we selected there, Darren Waller, Mike Evans, and then, yes, Aiden gets J.K. Dobbins, Dobbins, very similar to Chris Godwin. He's a guy coming off a full year removed from his serious knee injury. And Dobbins, end of last year, man, he was kind of like himself. He got 15 carries, 13, 12, and 17. I think this is probably the workload you're going to see from him this year. I do want him to be more involved as a receiver, but with the new offensive coordinator, Todd Monken, we might see more targets to the running backs. So I'm thinking, 9 to 10 points is probably going to be JK's floor this year. And when he gets the touchdown, he's going to be a very valuable back. So, and we do know that he's probably their best receiving back too. So I like J.K. Dobbins. He profiles as a running back 2 that you can maybe get running back 1 spike weeks from. There goes Hopkins at 55, Justin Fields, Rachaad White. That's a little bit high. He's going to be a PPR guy though. So I do like White for this scoring format. Terry, Herbert, Madison at 60. That's interesting. Last week he was going in the 80s, I believe. Pacheco, London, Kittle, Dallas Goedert, David Montgomery, Jerry Jeudy, DeAndre Swift. As we are approaching our pick, I did mention Trevor Lawrence maybe being on the docket here. I'm seeing a guy fall here, and it's Mike Williams. And I know he's never been the perfect, healthiest receiver, but he's got a lot of upside here as one of our picks. And again, we're locked into the 2 running backs. I think getting a piece of that Chargers passing offense makes sense. And the leagues that I play in, you can start 4 wide receivers. So I'm gonna start Mike Williams. Good evening to Justin, man. We're just rolling out another mock draft here. We're in the 3 spot tonight. I've already done mocks in the 1st and the 2nd overall pick. And Tony Pollard round 2 just makes a lot of sense. I am skeptical of him holding up for a full season with a huge workload, but I think last year he was RB8 with Ezekiel Elliott getting a ton of touches. So I think there's room for Pollard to finish as a top 3, top 5 running back. And then I got your boy Breece, man. I've been nervous about Breece Hall, but in this one I just wanted to do something a little bit different. I do like Breece Hall. I think, again, he's just going to require a little bit of patience when you're drafting Breece. You might want to have another RB in your arsenal of guys there. Now we're back up to pick. Calvin Ridley was a steal. I already got Christian Kirk. I could pair Ridley with Trevor Lawrence, which makes a lot of sense. I think I do like the QBs late yet. Like, we can still get a decent quarterback here. And I love the receivers. I'm just going to grab Trevor Lawrence. We're going to stack them. We're going to stack Trevor Lawrence with Calvin Ridley. And I hate you. I'm sorry, my man. Well, you can get your Christian Kirk. You can get your Christian Kirk. But for QBs, there's kind of a drop off coming off at QBs. I think I kind of want guys with rushing upside, and Trevor Lawrence, he's going to run the ball. He's not afraid to get some touchdowns, and he's going to probably get almost 300 yards rushing. He almost had 300 last year, so I like the added boost of a rushing quarterback. It's going to run out pretty quick here. Let's see what Aiden ended up doing with his 7th round pick. He did take Brandon Ayuk, and that's a great pick. I was actually looking at if I didn't take Trevor Lawrence, I was going to take Brandon Ayuk, my man. Ayuk he's the best receiver on the freaking 49ers. I don't like the Debo pick where he's going. I'd rather have Ayuk late. So that's a good pick there. Is Justin Fields he's not still out there. He's gone. I like Justin Fields. I'm not super excited about the Bears offense and I know they added DJ Moore. I like Justin Fields, but the way he runs, like, you can't hold up for a full season like that. He needs to lean into the pass more. I trust Trevor Lawrence to stay healthy. He's a great pocket passer, and he's going to run the ball. I think he's kind of the ideal middle round QB. If I can't get a Herbert, I want Trevor Lawrence on my team. So we're doing pretty good here. And now the board, we got our QB. There's receivers that I love here. Looks like we just missed George Pickens. Good pick there. Jaxon Smith-Njigba this late. Now he's a guy that I'm excited about. Not again, kind of like patience. Like that's kind of the theme here. Rookie receivers tend to ramp up towards the fantasy playoffs, and I could totally see JSN, being a guy that you want on your team, come December. Lockett and Metcalf, those guys are, they're great players, but if one of them gets hurt, JSN could be a league winner. So our receiving core now has Kupp, Godwin, Ridley, Big Mike Williams, Jaxon Smith-Njigba. Only 2 running backs, don't have a tight end yet, but I think we're going to fill that up pretty quickly here. I do want to look at the tight end positions. Looks like they got Pat Freiermuth ranked really highly apparently because he's not available and it's pick 100. Where did Big Pat go? Pat went 79th. Oh my goodness. I mean, Pat Freiermuth is my favorite tight end to draft in best ball leagues right now. You can get him at basically around pick 100, but here he goes at pick 79. Ali. So what to do? I mean, Njoku is probably the last of the Mohicans here at the tight end spot, and of course he gets drafted. So here we go. We're gonna go with our patented Kyle 0 running back or 0 tight end draft. So I need some running backs. Dillon, Wilson, Jamal. I don't mind grabbing AJ Dillon here. We're pretty good on wide receiver. There's a couple good guys that I like Gabe Davis should be on the team here, but I'm just going to grab AJ Dillon. With Dillon, he's in a contract year. I believe he intends to sign with Green Bay next year, but dude needs to play well. They're going to give the running backs the ball in Green Bay, and Green Bay's got a pretty soft schedule this year. So Dillon, maybe he's a guy that we use as our flex or running back 2 if we need him. He's just another guy that I like having on my bench. Let's see here. After I take AJ Dillon, round 9 recap, you got Juju here at round 9. Again, if D-Hop does sign with the Patriots, that's not going to be great for Juju. I would have taken Njoku there if he was available. You got to grab a rookie receiver. I think Zay Flowers is the guy that you want on your rosters this year. Kirk, Odell, Daniel Jones, Kmet, Chark, Schultz. Not terrible value for Tony. If Tony hits, he could be a huge value there. I like Jeff Wilson. Jamal Williams, good pick. Khalil Herbert, Rondell Moore, Cortland Sutton. That's a great pick. I like the Gabe Davis pick here at 113. In best ball drafts, he's a top 80 pick. So you're getting tremendous value there. Cortland Sutton didn't really play well last year, but again, he's another guy that you can have as your 4th or 5th receiver off your bench. I like that. And then Aiden grabs Jerick McKinnon here at 115. That's a great best ball, or that's a great PPR pick. Just another guy on your bench. We're up to pick here. I kind of want to continue the theme of rookie wide receivers. I want them, and I want Quentin Johnston. And what I've done here is we have Mike Williams, who, yes, is injury prone. If anything happens to Mike, don't worry. We have Quentin Johnston there. And who knows, maybe we're starting both guys at some point if Keenan Allen gets hurt. I think, our receiver room is looking pretty good. We got Kupp, we got Godwin, we got Ridley, Big Mike, JSN, and Quentin Johnston. I feel pretty strongly about this group. And then guess what? We're probably not done yet. Let's continue taking some rookie running backs. I'm going to take Zach Charbonnet, who the Seahawks have been pretty excited about. I mean, he got the draft capital in April. He was a round 2 pick, and they're saying that he can play all downs. I kind of expect him to be their passing down back. And if anything happens to Kenneth Walker, we potentially have a league-winning upside pick there. He's our running back 4, no big worry. We're punting on tight end here. There's a lot of guys that I like late. It doesn't really matter who we grab. Juwan Johnson's a decent player. Chig Okonkwo is the guy I'm kind of waiting for. So Aiden, please don't snipe me on my Chig. I hope you got your tight end already. Who did Aiden grab? Tyquan Thornton. That's a sharp pick. He's a riser in best ball drafts right now. I like Tyquan quite a bit. Let's see what Aiden ends up doing on the comeback here. Grabs Jameson Williams. That's a great pick. I like sleeping on Jameson Williams and getting him, in October. We're back up to pick here. If I wanted to pull a defense, I could easily grab the Cowboys or the Saints. I think if you want an elite defense, round 12, round 13, that's probably the best time to pull it. let's look at the tight ends. I'm just going to grab Okonkwo. He should not be ranked 247th. He is an elite tight end receiving option this year. He was, I think, the third ranked tight end in PFF's grades. Dude's going to be a monster. I'm very excited about Okonkwo as our tight end one. I'll grab another one, and I do want another backup running back, but I'm going to do something a little bit different, guys. So we're going to grab a defense. Round 13, give me that Saints defense. I have profiled the New Orleans Saints as having the easiest schedule for fantasy football this year. They didn't have a single negative scoring game last year. They only had a couple double-digit games, but take advantage of the Saints. This year they're playing in a really weak NFC South. I don't usually advise to grab a defense this early, but if you play in leagues that draft defenses, it pays to have that one stud defense for the whole season. And if you need to add someone during the waiver wire for a bye week or whatever, you can totally do that. But the Saints have been my defensive choice for this season. But let's finish off this draft. We got 2 empty bench spots here. I do want another tight end, whether that's Juwan Johnson or whoever we get. And I do need another running back. And there's a bunch of guys that I actually like here on this list. And I'm going to grab a rookie, whether it's Roschon or Kendre Miller. Those are the two. And I'm totally happy with those picks. Let's just go back to the queue here. We missed on Juwan, so that's a slight bummer there. Let me just double check the tight ends. Yeah, this is not great. Not a lot of great tight ends. So we kind of missed the boat on tight end. Give me that Kendre Miller. I like Kendre Miller. I think he's a little bit of a sleeper. They have Jamal Williams there, but I think you might see Rashawn Johnson, or you might see Kendre Miller just be more explosive than Jamal Williams, and maybe he forces his hand there. He's on record saying he wants to be the starting running back. I like his attitude. The dude's big. He can catch passes. I think he's going to look better than Jamal Williams. And who knows, if Alvin Kamara gets suspended for a full year, it's going to be pretty good. And then this is a roster construction thing. I'm going to grab Roschon Johnson here. I don't have a backup tight end. I believe in Okonkwo. If something fails, I'll grab a tight end off the waiver wire. I think that's fine. I did miss on a lot of tight ends in this draft here, so we'll play the 0 tight end game. And yeah, to me, Kendre in a dynasty format, Ron, like Kendre is the dude. I'm very excited about. I think he's going to be the starting running back next year. Stop hating on Myers, safest hands in the draft. Dude, I don't think Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be their quarterback this year. I think they're going to end up trading for like Jameis Winston or something. And for me, I don't want to start it. I don't want a rookie tight end starting on my fantasy roster in redraft. If I needed a tight end, I can grab one off the waiver wire. I just don't want to babysit a rookie tight end, on my bench. I'd rather have Rashawn Johnson, Kendre Miller. Rookie running backs could pop off at any point, and I want to have those lottery tickets on my team. I got 4 rookies on my roster here on my bench, and actually I got 5, and I kind of want to load the boat with those rookies. Whereas tight end, it's very hard for a rookie tight end to come around. Kyle Pitts is the only one to do it, and even he put up 1,000 yards, and we still hate him for it. He didn't really wow us there. So we'll just kicker here. Who cares? I'll grab the Detroit Lions kicker. You're babysitting him in your starting lineup. Interesting. All right, let's see what Aiden's got here. Aiden did wind up with Michael Mayer. I don't think you're gonna like it, Aiden. On your bench, fine. I get it, but I don't think he's got to beat Austin Hooper out, for snaps. I see it as a tight end by committee his rookie year. We'll see. We'll see. I like Meyer long term, but I don't think I like him this year. That's the emergency break glass idea. Is like, if Jimmy's not ready, they're gonna bring Carson Wentz in. It's definitely not gonna be Aiden O'Connell. It's not gonna be, who's the other guy? They get Brian Hoyer. I don't think it's gonna be either of those guys. There's the Saints people that I follow, Nick Underhill and some of the other beat writers there. They were kind of talking about Hunter Renfrow for Jameis Winston trade, straight up, see what happens. Jameis Winston with the Raiders, I think, could be kind of fun, and that might actually lift the offense a little bit there. But I think, for me, I'm kind of out on the Raiders in 2023. I don't believe in Josh McDaniels. Devontae Adams clearly doesn't believe in anything that's going on there. Josh Jacobs is unhappy. They don't know who the quarterback is. I'm politely, I'm staying away from the Raiders in 2023. And if I die, if I lose a championship because some Raider beat me, I think I'm going to be okay with that. But let's recap what we did here from the 3-hole. Our quarterback is Trevor Lawrence. He's a potential top 5 quarterback, but I feel good about him being a top 10 guy. The running backs here, Tony Pollard and Breece Hall. Will be patient with Breece. The receivers, though, looking pretty good. Kupp, Godwin, Ridley. On the bench, we have Mike Williams, JSN, and Quentin Johnston. We got some firepower there at receiver. Our starting tight end is Chigo Okonkwo. Running backs on the bench, A.J. Dillon, rookies Zach Charbonnet, Kendre Miller, and Roschon Johnson. And if these rookies don't pop, that's fine. I can move on and find some guys on the waiver wire. Let's take a peek here at Aiden's squad. He's got Tua stacked with Tyreek. I love that. And Waddle. Oh, my goodness. He's got the mega Dolphins stack here, so that's fun. Najee and Dobbins to hold the fort down at RB. Michael Mayer at tight end. It's going to be his weak spot, but that's okay. Keenan Allen in the flex looks good. Swift, Ayuk, Beckham, McKinnon, Thornton, Jameson Williams, and Sam Howell. It's a solid lineup. I think when you're drafting, it's okay to have one weak spot on your roster. Clearly, it's tight end, but that's everyone can get hurt at any given play. I like the firepower here. You got the heavy Dolphin stack. That's fun. I think Keenan Allen. People are kind of disrespecting him this year. He's not injury prone by any means, so I think Keenan Allen could be in for a nice 2023. And then I love Brandon Ayuk. I think Ayuk's one of your best picks here for your bench squad here. And then hopefully, if Swift or McKinnon can pop in at the flex or the RB2 spot when needed, I think you feel good about that. And then you got some potential some haymakers here with Jameson, Tyquan, and Odell Beckham. And the thing is, in 1 QB leagues, man, especially in your redraft format, it doesn't pay to draft a backup QB. Like, commit to Tua and try to hit some of those other picks in your draft. And in a 1 QB league, you're gonna be able to pick up a Brock Purdy. You're gonna be able to pick up Jordan Love. You're gonna be able to pick up a fringe QB1 pretty easily. So if you're nervous about it, you can always carry a QB2. But I don't know if it's necessary. But that's going to do it for this one, guys. I appreciate you all hanging out with me. Go check out some of the other videos we put out. This is our 3rd mock draft. We'll do another one next week from the 4 spot. Tons of best ball content. I'm going to be out of town this weekend, so I'm not going to be able to do anything crazy for stream-wise, but I'll try and get another video or 2 out before I leave for the weekend. Thank you guys for your time. Thanks for hanging out in the chat. And hey, guys, we'll see you in a future video. Have a good one. Peace.